Hey everyone, and welcome to part 1 of my playthrough of the Operation Cage the Bear campaign that comes bundled with the F-14B Tomcat module for DCS World. This is a 10-mission campaign set in the early 90s, shortly after the end of the Cold War, depicting an alternate universe where, I guess, Russian hardliners invade Georgia in an attempt to reunify some elements of the Soviet Union. Clearly not the most realistic thing compared to real life, but it makes for a rather interesting playthrough, since in this case we'll be playing as an F-14 pilot stationed on board a U.S. carrier that transits into the Black Sea in a show of force to try to do something about that. I have played, as you can see, the first mission of this campaign before, just testing everything out, make sure things work. Should be interesting. Hopefully I'll be able to make everything go smoothly again when I play it here on camera. We'll see how it goes. And I will be playing through the super carrier variants, so we will be seeing the full cold start setup of the F-14 from cold and dark on the deck all the way to wheels up, flying around, and then coming back to landing. So let's get into it. Alright, so here's our pre-mission briefing. As you can see, our carrier is currently stationed in the eastern Black Sea, off the coast of Georgia, which has been invaded by Red forces from the north. So the mission starts basically right shortly after the carrier arrives on station, and a hostile bandit group has popped up from the north, from Russia, and is inbound to the carriers. We are basically on Alert 5. We're the quick response force for the carrier, so as soon as we hit start on go for the mission, it's our job to get in the air as quickly as possible and vector out to the north to intercept these bandits and see what's going on with them. For the immediate time, we are weapons close. Rules of engagement are restricted, so we won't be just shooting at them immediately, basically just going out to identify and monitor, and we may be cleared to engage later. Spoiler alert, we're going to be cleared to engage. It's video game. That's what's going to happen. So, we are Uzi 1-1. That's what I'll be playing for lead element of this Uzi 1 flight. I'll have an AI wingman, Uzi 1-2, and there are a handful of other F-14s that may be scrambled later on. There's an AWACS, tankers, kind of standard stuff. Possible threats to the carrier striker. This is always the standard threat from a Cold War scenario, is Russian anti-ship missiles launched from Badgers or backfires. So in this case, Tu-142, Tu-22M, Su-24, so those are the major threats. If they get within range, they'll fire their cruise missiles at the carrier. The job of the F-14 in general is fleet air defense, so intercept the targets well before they get into range of the carrier. That's why the F-14 has such long operational range and such long-range missiles, like AIM-54. We will not, ideally, be getting too close over land. As you can see, they have several surface-to-air missile sites in the area. We will not want to deal with that. Alright, altimeter is 2953, and other than that, I think we're good to go. I will be going through the cold start procedure, although as I mentioned, we do want to get up in the air quickly, so I may not have time to explain everything, although probably will, since the long pole in the tent is pretty much the INS alignment, as you'll see in a little bit. Alright, and we can fly out. Okay, first things we need to do are tell the ground crew to hook up ground air supply and ground electric power. The F-14 cannot autonomously start up without ground support, so we'll wait for that to happen. Now we can tell our Rio, hey, we're going to go ahead and start up. First thing is arm the ejection seat.
ICS comm check.
And we tell him we can hear him loud and clear. So going to high. And next thing is going to be starting the engines, but we're going to wait to do that until the cockpit closes. Our Rio in the back seat has to do that.
I'm closing the canopy.
There we go.
Okay, ready to start.
So we're going to crank the right engine now with the engine crank switch. And then we can start setting up all the avionics. So we want to get the oxygen system on. That's important so we don't pass out. Get all the flight stability switches online. Right engine has reached low RPM, so we can shift the throttle into idle and let that get to work. Let's uncage the standby attitude indicator, get it calibrated. Let's configure the radar altimeter, get it booting, and get it set to 600 feet. Test shows it's working. Right engine temperature is spiking, but will soon settle back down once it reaches proper idle RPM. We reset the barometric altimeter, get that cleared, and reset the number to 2953 is what we were told in the briefing. So we've got that squared away. Right engine looks good, so let's crank the left engine. Let's get the anti-spoiler skid brakes to just the spoiler. You do not use anti-skid braking on carrier deck. I can't figure out what the reason for that is. People on the internet say a lot of different things about exactly why that is the case, but the one thing everyone agrees on is you're not supposed to use anti-skid braking on a carrier deck, so I can do that part, even if I don't quite know why. Let's get all the displays turned on. Set to takeoff. Nothing on the yet. Speaking of, let's see if he's ready. He's not. At some point, he'll be ready to get the INS going. Left engine is ready to start at this point. Get it up to idle. Oop, almost forgot this. Dial in the number of rounds of ammo we have on the gun. We have 675 is the amount that the F-14 can carry. The actual gun ammo counter only goes in multiples of 10 though, so we'll go for 670. That will inform the display. If we swap to the gun, it'll tell us, hey, here's how many rounds you have left. Left engine is settling in nicely. Looks good. Yeah. We're good there. Only other things left on our warning light switch, which you probably can't read, and honestly I can't read either. I only know them from memory, is that the wings are swept back, which we want right now, seeing as we're on a carrier in a crowded environment, and it wants us to reset the CADAC, the Central Air Data Computer, which is basically the flight computer of the F-14, and we'll stand by on doing that until we sweep the wings. Is he ready yet? Yes. So align the INS for fine capability. We do not want to get lost out at sea and be unable to get back to the carrier. Both engines are started and stable now, so we can go ahead and tell the ground crew to disconnect. And we can swap air, set up cabin air. So we're good. In reality, we'd probably be messing with the lights, but kind of doesn't matter. Alright, radar altimeter is online and ready. That's good. Rio is configuring our INS with our initial position and altitude information. Loadout for this mission, as I can mention now, is going to be 2 Sidewinders, 2 Sparrows, and 4 Phoenixes. So fairly standard air-to-air engagement for an F-14 on cap duty. Like I said there, and we are carrying 20,000 pounds of fuel. Should be plenty. So swept back, we'll wait on all that. How close are we? Ooh. INS is spinning up. We're kind of watching this diamond go all the way to the right. basically a loading bar, if you will. Sweet. And any second now he should tell us that we're ready to taxi. Go back to nav. Make sure we did everything. We got the gun set up, RWR set up, attitude indicator, altimeters, AFCS.
Ready to taxi.
There you go. Oxygen's on, engines are good to go. I think we're set, so we'll just tell him a couple of things. Let's set the TACAN to receive only. No sense in being less stealthy than we have to be. Tune into the carrier. And get the data link set up, in this case to the AWACS. And now we can release the parking brake and go. Come on. So, alright, so now we're in position on the catapult, so we'll bring this forward, reset the computer, and bring the wing sweep forward. And that clears all of the master cautions, so we are good to go. So the wings will come all the way forward, we'll drop flaps, we will kneel the aircraft as requested. Set the carrier course line. There we go. He wants us to power forward, so let's do that. Someone told me you could get rid of that. Huh. Guess that doesn't work. Alright, we are go for takeoff. Somebody should, I guess I'll be curious to see how long that actually took from being on the deck to getting in the air. Okay, clearing turn, back on the stick, gear up, flaps up.
Alright, I got nails, 8 o'clock.
And things look stable. Alright, we are in the air. Let's get missiles ready. Go to cruise mode.
Uzi 1, this is Focus. Regroup and turn 340. Bandit group 120 miles out. Intercept and monitor. Remember, weapons tight. Return fire only.
Alright, and that's one of the benefits of playing one of these actual scripted campaigns. You got voice acting and proper orders being given as we go. So we'll turn to heading 340 and start to climb out.
There's a friendly 2-ship, Bra 330, 35 miles, Angels 20. You got it. Friendly guerrilla group bearing 010, 45 miles, Angels 12.
So on our radar display, we can see the bandit group in question that we're looking at is out here, a little over 100 miles away. So we'll vector towards them. Looks like they're headed mostly south at this point. normally a little more economical fuel, but let's go ahead and try to get out there a little quicker. Okay, missile prep is complete. We're all ready. And sooner or later we should see... yeah, I think he's back there. That's probably impossible. Let's see if we can zoom in a bit. That's our wingman. A couple miles back. Hope that comes in clear in the video. It's hard to see even on my monitor though, so... take my word for it, he's back there. We're a bit left where we should be. So the plan here is to climb out to about 15,000 feet, give or take, and then make our way out to intercept them. Yeah, he's catching up.
Uzi 1, 100 miles to Bandit Group.
Alrighty. Yes, sir.
So we're getting close to 15,000 feet at this point, but honestly, based off the position of this cloud deck and everything, I might go a bit higher just to get clear of it. We're going to be able to maintain decent visual contact on these guys, so don't want to be doing that through a cloud deck if at all we can avoid it. Although maybe below will be good enough. Yeah, we're at 15,000 now. Yeah, bottom of this cloud deck should be fine. I'm going to go ahead and level off.
Okay, there is a Bandit, 335, 75 miles.
So that's our guy. 75 miles out. roughly right in front of us, and altitude, actually, they are at 17,000. Alright. Let's go for above the cloud deck then. I wasn't expecting them to be that high. Okay, we'll go for 18,000 then. How about that?
Uzi 1, 50 miles to Bandits.
So if we knew for sure this was a hostile group we'd be shooting at, this is the point where I'd start shooting. As it stands, we are not cleared to engage, so we'll just keep closing in. I wonder, can we get... Yeah, I would have to lock onto them, which seems less than wise at this point.
Friendlies,
They might...
7 o'clock, 8 miles.
Probably not something they would
We
take
have
kindly.
looks like a Bandit, 325, 49 miles. Oh wait, sorry, 39 miles.
Alright, so we can start to see stuff now, so let's...
Roger.
37 miles. They're at about 16,000 feet, so we're comfortably above them. At least 4 of them in there. Maybe a 5th?
Fights on!
Yeah, unfortunately the Rio doesn't understand the AI Rio doesn't understand the concept of, you know, rules of engagement. So he knows they're hostile, and so he's just shouting, "Hey, we should shoot them." All right, 30 miles. Probably 4 or 5 of them. It's a bit hard to read, especially because the radar returns get all garbled into each other, but pretty close. We're still not cleared for anything yet, so just sit tight. We have our wingman here with us. About a half a mile out to the side. I will have to tell him to start shooting things when we get there. Unfortunately, there's not much of a way to coordinate with him, at least not that I've been able to find, in terms of who shoots which target, so... That'll be exciting, I'm sure. We are about 20 miles out now. That's definitely 5 of them. Coming in above the cloud deck here. Definitely a better place to be.
There are bandits. TU-142, 12 o'clock, 13 miles.
Uzi 1, focus. You're approaching the bandits. Identify and escort them out of the airspace. Scrambling additional fighters to you now.
Alright, there they are. Yep, looks like 5 of them. You can make out the red text, the labels on them. Just ahead, they're pretty much coming in through the clouds. So we'll climb a bit, lose a bit of airspeed. Yep, a couple SU-24s, a TU-142. Nothing that's a threat to us in a dogfight, that's for
12
sure.
o'clock, 260. 1 o'clock, 12 o'clock. 1 o'clock.
Let's just slot in position behind him.
Speed 240.
He's with us.
Uzi 2, airborne. Intercepting. TU-142, 12 o'clock. SU-24, 1 o'clock. We're at 270.
All fighters, focus. Bandits turning hot in the area.
310.
Intercept and take them out.
And we are cleared to engage.
2 o'clock.
And we tell flight, engage, bandits.
There goes 340. 1 o'clock.
Fox 1.
SU-24, 3 o'clock.
Focus.
Closing.
Bandits coming in range of the carrier group.
Oh, splash.
Splash 1.
Bandit is down. 6 o'clock.
Okay, got a lock on that one.
370.
Fox 1. We have a lock. Why did it not? Oh, god damn it. Alright, fine.
We're at 410.
Fox 2.
440, let's go. TU-142, 12 o'clock.
That looks like good track. Alright, he's hit.
Flash. Bandit is down.
That's 2 down.
knots. Bandit is down.
Fox 2?
Airspeed's 490.
I suspect I was shooting at someone who had already been shot down.
Spike, 10 o'clock.
Whoa.
And that's 460. There's 390.
Let's go for
350,
guns.
sorry, 330. Needles at 300.
Oh, he's already gone down. I see a trail of smoke.
Going down.
Alright, I think we smoked this group. Alright, 2 kills for 4 missiles and we still have the Phoenixes.
0 knots.
It's pretty good.
Focus to all fighters. Bandits down. Fighters capped to the north. Stay sharp. This isn't over.
Passing 240.
Flight.
Flight, join up.
And he wants us to get turn north, so let's do that. Picking up some MiG-25 radars in that direction. How are we doing on fuel? Still pretty good, even after an engagement. How are the external tanks? Still have gas in them, so we'll hold them for now. to long range, and oh, we need to climb.
Nails, 11 o'clock.
Break. New pop-up group to the north. Fighters intercept.
Alright, let's get out there. We already know groups are hostile. So let's put the burners on, get the wings swept, and get to altitude.
Contact bearing 023.120.
Roger.
There's a couple other friendly
we have a
F-14s
Bandit,
making their way out.
raw, 025, 110 miles.
Yeah, there's somebody. There's several somebodies. And they're at low altitude, so let's...
Contact bearing 021.110.
There's several somebodies. How are the wings sweeping back?
Bandit 2 ship, raw, 035,
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That is a lot of bad guys. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, at least 8. Not sure. There's a lot of them, that's for sure. This is probably an entire backfire regiment coming at us. I have played this mission before, so I guess that makes my guess somewhat cheating, but this is a reasonable guess. The way this works is that basically the Soviets would just send a mass wave of their those bombers I was talking about earlier,
Oh, I'm showing nails,
and just mass volley fire at a carrier, figuring, hey, something will hit. Probably not actually a horrible doctrine, all things considered. I would not want to go against it. But in this case, we know they're coming. We've already got a bunch of Tomcats in the air ready to deal with them, so we should be fine. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, probably 12.
Yes, sir.
Okay, we're going Mach 1.3, just positively screaming.
There's a Bandit guerrilla group bearing 010, 67 miles. Wilco. There is a Bandit guerrilla group bearing 005, 60 miles. Jettisoned the tanks.
Come on, cluster them up.
Multiple bandits north. Backfire bombers. All fighters turn north and intercept.
I got dirt at 10 o'clock. And a mud spike, 10 o'clock.
You're about 50 miles, so I think we're going to engage here in a second. Alright. Fox. Fox 3. Fox 3. Let's get down. I just realized we were getting way too low. And Fox 3.
got some dirt at 11 o'clock.
They are all very close.
Okay, we're on. There is a bandit, TU-22, 12 o'clock, 12 miles. We have a bandit.
Looks like that one's tracking.
12 o'clock, 11 miles. Bandit, TU-22.
That's one of them at least.
12 miles. Watch it, we've got mud, 11 o'clock. Splash.
I'm worried most of this missed. I don't think I handled that engagement quite well. Well, we're down to guns, so...
Bandit, TU-22, 9 o'clock, 10 miles. We're at 290. 10 o'clock high. Bogey, TU-22, 9 o'clock, 9 miles. Bogey, TU-22, 12 o'clock high, 1 mile. Bogey, TU-22, 12 o'clock high, 3 miles. Bogey, backfire, 12 o'clock, 8 miles. Bogey, TU-22, 11 o'clock, 12 miles. We're way too slow, man. Bogey, TU-22, 2 o'clock, 12 miles. Slow at 140. Right in front of us. Watch this stall, man. We're on a 6, on a 6. Passing 210. Bandit is going down. 240 knots.
Flight. Engage bandits.
I hope he was already doing that. I didn't have to tell him.
Nails, 2 o'clock.
I'm not sure I can actually catch these guys.
Vampire north. Vampire.
Alrighty, walking up 9 o'clock.
Owl fighters. Intercept the backfires.
Contact medic 161.13. Contact medic 151.12. Contact medic 1.
Damn it, I lost the lock.
Contact medic 157.23. Contact medic 150.27. Contact medic
Mud, 11 o'clock.
124. Contact medic 225.2.
The carrier group are launching at the vampires. Fighters keep pushing them back.
Nails, 4 o'clock.
Contact medic 216.16.
I think we got a stinger, 11 o'clock.
Contact medic 149.35.
Spike on our nose, 12 o'clock.
Contact medic 167.50.
Vampires closing on the carrier group.
Friendly Tomcat, 12 o'clock, 6 miles. We're Joker fuel.
Yeah, I'm aware.
Contact medic 229.13. Contact medic 187.12.
10 o'clock. O'clock. We've got a bandit. Backfire. 12 o'clock. 9 miles. 0 knots. $12 o'clock. There's 450. Keep coming. He's on our nose. Closing. We're at 480. Mud spike. 7 o'clock. Speed 450.
I don't think we have the gas to do this, is the problem.
11 o'clock high.
He's pulling away and I can't risk more throttle. Shit, we're like already down to low. Fine, I guess we're just pulling out of here.
Good flying. We're on a 6. 500.
All fighters, stand clear.
540 knots.
Disengage and recover. We survived this one.
That could have gone substantially better, but it also could have gone substantially worse, so... I'm just gonna pull a Black Knight and say we'll call it a draw.
2 o'clock high. Roger. Roger. Roger, okay.
Alright, now we're just gonna try and get back to the carrier.
Oh shit, nails. 5 o'clock.
We're fine, Chester. It's just the other F-14s. So thinking back on how that went and trying to do some lessons learned, I think the problem is that in the absence of an actual human Rio, like I can communicate with and, you know, tell me what the heck is going on and figure out a position to maintain lock, I probably need to not fire so many missiles at once. I think the radar just got overwhelmed, you know, because it doesn't know how to pick targets intelligently. It was firing missiles like guys on the extreme ends of the incoming formation, and it's just not possible for the radar to maintain locks on targets that far apart at the same time. So I lost lock on them, especially as we closed range, and then missiles didn't hit. So maybe firing one or at most two at a time, and then just working to maintain those locks is the smarter solution, and then we can just shoot more Phoenixes when we get into even closer range if need be. Still, we got an SU-24, a Tu-142, and one of the backfires? That's still 3 kills in a day. It's not terrible.
Marshall 522, marking ops 337-450, Angels 16.5, hold enhancement 010, low state 2.8.
522, weather's weather is visibility 10 plus mile. Scattered clouds at 8,000, altimeter is 2953, case 1 recovery, expected BRC 49er, report see me at 10.
522.
Now we'll just come back in and go for the landing. So right now I'm just trying to get into a position behind where the carrier is. So the carrier is currently, you can tell from this display here, it's that way off, it's just in front of and slightly to the left of me. But we want to be on this course line that goes kind of this way. So you imagine the carrier's out here, we want to be on the line parallel to this line back behind it. So the carrier's like over here, but I'm aiming for a point like over here, maybe more like over here, hence why I'm going that way. I shouldn't be turning this much. So we kind of need to get to the other side of it, because the carrier's, basically we're north of the carrier, but the carrier is itself steaming northeast. So we need to go past the carrier to turn back around to get lined up. Should be out there somewhere. Well, that looks like it. Roughly center screen, you probably can't see it. So now I'm at about the distance I want to be, but I need to move around to the correct course. So what I'm going to do is fly, keeping the carrier exactly off my wing, 90 degrees that way, and just kind of hug that circle at this range until we get it to converge to the course line we want. And we're going to apply a good bit more nose down trim because this aircraft just doesn't want to come down at all. So we should be able to start the turn in at this point. Yep, we can see the course line starting to converge. And there's all the ships just ahead. So we're still awful high, but we should be fine. Okay, autopilot is configured. We're set in landing mode. We're receiving the proper data link. want to come a bit more to the right, so let's just keep doing that. We're down to 3,500 pounds of gas, which is not a lot, but
522.
I'm sure it'll be
See you
fine.
at 10.
Update state, switch down.
522.
we're-
Low speed 2.5.
Alright, so let's get gear down. We're under 250. Let's get the hook down.
There are friendlies, F-14, 11 o'clock, 7 miles.
Let's get flaps down and go to auto throttle. Oh my god. Oh my god. How much pitch trim does this friggin' aircraft require? My god. Must be on like 50. It's alright, there we go. At least getting on this line now. But we do need to come down. We're still
Tower
at
522. Overhead Angels 3. Hold enhancement 010. Low speed 2.4.
we're getting within 4 nautical miles. We're still far too high apparently. Okay, we're in proper command and control. Throttle set, hook down, flaps down, gear down. Positive control, descent rate looks good. We are on 2.5 mile final. 3,300. We should have enough to go around once if it proves necessary, although I really hope it doesn't.
522. Tower, roger. BRC 49er. Signal is Charlie. 522.
Coming in at under 120 knots. Good God. Can you imagine this aircraft? We are incredibly light. We fired off all the missiles, dropped all the tanks. We are running on fumes, so yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if we're less than 40,000 pounds at this point. Takeoff weight was something like 70,000. Well, we burned. Yeah, we burned at least, what, 15,000 pounds of gas? Alright, those guys are coming in hot. Okay, we're about on a 1 mile final now. Everything looking good, but Yeah, the LSO calls are wrong for the F-14. Those are configured for the F-18, so he's mad that I'm flying differently than an F-18 would, which is not my problem. 10 seconds. Oh, it's just wrong. Okay, and we're down.
4 wire.
That was less than great, but yeah. Retract the wings, come on. There we go. Any landing you can walk away from, and better if the aircraft's reusable. We are in good shape. We'll just park over here. Normally the decker would tell you where to go, but they don't have that, so this will have to do. Alright, and that was the mission. Could have gone better, could have gone a heck of a lot worse too. We engaged some guys, carrier is still safe, we're back on the deck, so I guess that counts as a successful mission. We should get the hook back up. Yeah. Alright, well, thanks for watching, and I'll see y'all next time.